Sup, you fools? Matt, ESCunited, your favorite Eurovision channel, and welcome, one more welcome. This is Mattitude, your Eurovision live stream. I had to think about what it is. My name is Matt, and I will be your host. And what we're going to do here is talk. And guess what? You'll never see it coming. Eurovision, yes, the news that have transpired over the last week or so. Some of the highlights, we'll talk it through. I share my thoughts and my opinion. You throw your thoughts in there as well. And then at the very end, we have an open Q&A where we can talk about general stuff, Eurovision related or whatever. Ask your questions and tell me what I am missing out on, what I have not brought up before. And so this is the dialogue. This is fun. We're doing this all the time. We're doing that at least once a week as the Eurovision season picks up. We're going to do that more frequently, of course. So make sure to hit that silly dilly subscribe button if you haven't done so already. So before I get started, just a quick hi to those in the chat already. Hello to Jovan Matoski is right here. Eurovision Online is joining us. How are you doing? Unboxer is right there. Hello, Mac T and Skylights ESC. You are all here, and I genuinely appreciate it. So, yes, what has happened? You always ask me to tell me how my week was. As far as it was good. Now, in case you don't know, you probably don't pay close attention unless you're really involved in the journalistic press part of it. We can now apply for Eurovision access. So this is always the craziest season in Israel. They're starting extra early this year. So I'm already putting a team together for Tel Aviv to make sure we're going to provide you with the coverage, the live stream, the news, the interviews, the behind the scenes stuff and all of that. So that took a chunk of my week. So even though for people like those who are not involved in the press part of it, it's fairly slow, but for me it's busy every single day. There's always something to do, so that is what my focus is on right now. But with the holidays, of course, I have friends and family I'm trying to spend some time with as well. So that's where we're at. That has been my week, and then I'm just trying to stay on top of the news. It's been crazy because we had a few countries and already released their songs. So I have released several videos over the last week, including the Estonia Eesti Laul reaction video, the Latvia Supernova videos out, and just earlier this morning, I uploaded the video for Albania. Festivale e Kenges 57. I listened to all 22 songs, shared my reaction, and top 10. You should watch it if you haven't done so already, and let me know if you agree or not. That is where we're at. So that has been my week. So let's delve right into it. In case you don't know how this works, as I said, I'm going to talk about just a little bit about the news, share my thoughts, and then make sure you ask your questions using @ESCunited, and I'll try to answer them to the best of my abilities as I see them. I only have, one set of ears as well. And at the very end, you can ask general questions. Just during the whole thing, try to stay on topic so I don't always just jump back and forth. It makes a little bit more sense, right? So, I see a lot of hellos popping out there. Hello, Lek M and Rixelinson. I don't pronounce that name. By now I should be able to, but I'll never. I love butchering names. Anyway, let's talk about what happened. And as we get closer and closer to the Eurovision busy season. I mean, we're only 5 months away from the actual event. It seems like a long time, but in the Eurovision world, that is not much, because now, really, starting early next year in particular, it's just going to be boom, boom, boom. Of course, we have Albania before that, which is even more exciting that we finally have a show. And before you start asking, yes, I will have live streams probably before and after the show. So, don't worry, there will be plenty of Mattitude. Don't worry about that. So let's delve right into the news and see where it takes us. Let's start with Poland. So Poland, just real quick, the president of the Polish broadcaster, right? It's TVP, that's the name of the broadcaster. They said that they consider, an internal selection actually may be the way to go for Eurovision 2019. In case you don't know what that means, over the past few years, they actually had a national final. And Krajowe Eliminacje, which is really sad that I have no idea how to pronounce it, considering I just did my DNA test and it turns out I'm 81% Polish. actually Eastern European, but apparently from Pomerania. That's where my family's from. So I should know how to speak Polish apparently now, but I don't. Anyway, that is the national final for Poland, right? They've been using it for the last few years, and they had a bunch of names that really, tried to represent Poland. It did not happen for all of them, but for some we had Mikhail Spak comes to mind, and then of course last year the band that did not make it, light me up. They didn't qualify. So maybe that discouraged them from utilizing that system. But basically, what they said, in case you don't know and you don't pay attention to Junior Eurovision, actually, Poland won Junior, right? They were the country that won it for the very first time, and they had an internal selection for the Polish song as well. So know what the broadcaster, the president, is saying. I'm going to quote. Sometimes it is better to make such an intuitive choice, but then you have to bear full responsibility for it. With Roxana, I succeeded. It was a hit. Roxana is the Polish singer for Junior Eurovision. She won the contest. Poland will host actually Junior Eurovision, so that is going to be exciting. He continues, we are looking for a formula. We know why the qualifiers have not been successful so far. We had signals from the prestigious, some of the best Polish performers that they do not want to participate in the national selection, where 9 or 10 artists have to lose and one wins. It is a bit counting horses at the market. Let me have a sip of water. Therefore, we are looking for a more discrete formula that will involve the best, but at the same time not be an open competition. Maybe this is the right formula. I cannot give details yet. So that is his official statement. So let's dissect that just a little bit and exactly what that means. What does it mean? We don't know. This is all just speculation at this point. He is still considering it. He doesn't know if he's going to go with an internal selection or with a national final. This has not been decided. But if you listen to his words, it seems as they're leaning towards an internal selection. And I bring up the UK here a little bit because they have a national final. Most, if not all, big names, big artists, they do not want to take part in a national final because imagine you have a big band take part, let's say Adele, which she would never represent at Eurovision, but I'm just using her name. She takes part in the national final in the UK and comes in third and doesn't even win. That would be a huge embarrassment for her, right? And so I understand, once you have a certain status, that Eurovision may not be the right platform for you. And that could apply to Polish singers as well. They want to stay away from the national selection process because they don't want to embarrass themselves or make themselves look bad if they cannot even win the national selection, right? So they're thinking, hey, we could get bigger names, better artists. Better is subjective, of course. Select them internally, send them to Eurovision, and have them do their thing. And that is definitely an option. Personally, I'm always as, if you want to take part in Eurovision, it's a competition. So you need to accept the fact that you need to compete. And if it's within a national final at the home base, so be it. But that is me. That is why I'm more in favor of the smaller entries. The smaller entries. What am I talking about? The less known names. That's what I should say. So that is what I'm thinking, though they're trying to do. And the fact that Poland did so well this year at Junior, that leads me to believe that they're going to actually do well. Yurtawali, I really, really appreciate your. I don't know what I'd do without you. I'm going to jump in. Since you contributed, I'm going to answer your question right away. I need to know, what's your opinion about the 2000 Montenegrin entry? They debut, and 2008. You always ask me the tricky ones, the very out of the mainstream ones. Here's the thing, I don't listen to them anymore, neither the 2007 nor the 2008 song, but I appreciate it because when I hear songs like that now, I think, oh, that is so Montenegro. It is their style, it is their kind of music, and therefore I'm just have a strange soft spot for them. Now, as said, they're not on my playlist, but when they come on, I'm like, oh yeah, I don't dislike them at all. They're just not on my, recurring playlist. Let's put it that way. It's not that I only listen to Eurovision music. Actually, believe it or not, I do listen to other music as well. But since this is a Eurovision channel, that's what I talk about. Thank you for that question. Thank you for the super chat, and thank you for just being such a big supporter. That means more than the world to me, if that is even possible. So that is the news about Poland. And if you have any questions about Poland, if you think there should be somebody, make sure you do at ESCunited if you want to talk about Poland so I can see your questions. If you think there is a specific act that you want to see from Poland be selected internally, who should it be and why? I mean, in 2014, the Slavic girls, they were selected internally. That was a smash hit online, right? The video went viral and it did really well in the televote, right? Fifth place, and then tanked with the juries, which doesn't surprise me. But it really created a hype. And I have learned one thing. Polish fans are one of the most enthusiastic fans out there. And I feel kind of proud because they're my peeps, because I'm 80% Eastern European, mostly Polish, and I wear that with a badge of honor. But to all Swedes out there, I'm also 9% Swedish. So how cool is that? And 11% Baltic, so Latvian, Lithuanian, I guess. Considering that I was born and raised in Germany, I'm only 19% West German, West Germanic. Alright, okay, that surprised me. Anyway, I still can't get over the results. Anyway, so I think Poland needs to do what they think is right. I personally prefer a national final. However, their national final this year was pretty boring. So they picked Light Me was probably the best song, the best option, and it still wasn't enough. So I don't want to be too judgy about their decision. Lek M is saying, I just want an entry like a modern Tunia, a dramatic epic ballad. We're on the same page. We are on the same page. I want that as well, because that is what Poland is really good at. Fantastic ballads. I'm with you on that 110%. Eurotower is saying, in regards to Poland, I hope for something ethnic like the 2005 entry, the gypsy style. Okay, that is a very interesting one, because I didn't like that song at all in 2005. But I was stupid in 2005. And now I'm like, I like that song. We really need more music like that. Even though I wasn't quite crazy about the 2014 song, The Slavic Girls, because the lyrics bothered me. But it became such a classic now in Eurovision terms. Who can be too mad about that? I see a lot of other questions popping up about other topics. Keep posting them at the very end, as I want to stay on track with the current conversations that we have. But I'm happy to answer all of your other questions. Whether if you want to pick on my knowledge or just ask for my opinion and taste, so be it. For now, I'm just trying to stick to the topic. Okay, so that is what we're at with Poland. More to come there. I also want to talk about one of my favorite countries in Eurovision, Italy. Yes, I am so excited about it. If we can believe the rumors. Rumors don't always come true, but often there is a good amount of truth to it. And rumors have it that some big names are considering returning to Sanremo. And that includes some of my favorites, Il Volo. 2015, Grande Amore finished in third place, won the televote by a landslide. Francesco Gabbani, the monkey dance. I can't even think of the name. Kama. I forgot the name. Rafael Gualazzi, who represented Italy in 2011, they returned that year and almost won. They won the jury vote, finished second overall. So these are all names that are being thrown around, and if that is true, that would be super exciting. In case you don't know, Sanremo is the Italian show that actually has been around longer than the actual Eurovision Song Contest, and Eurovision was somewhat modeled after Sanremo, so they have more history, which is quite impressive. They will be back, of course, with Sanremo. Sanremo is basically a standalone contest. It's not technically the national final in Italy for Eurovision. However, the winner of Sanremo is being given the opportunity, the honor to represent Italy at Eurovision. In most cases, they accept, but they are not required. In 2016, the winning act declined. And that could happen again, but for the most part, the winner accepts the honor and then goes to Eurovision, but it is technically not the national final. So it'll be back again between February the 5th and February the 9th. But they made a good amount of changes on Remo, and I'm actually very much in favor of them. So first of all, until now, until this year 2018, they had two different categories, right? They had the newcomer category and then the big names category, and only the winner of the big names category will be given the right to represent Italy, right? Now it's no longer a thing. They're merging these two groups together. There's only going to be a single competition, and they will have a total of 24 names competing. That is a huge difference. And how they're going to select it, 22 of them will be chosen amongst known artists, established artists who already have a history, and then there will be an additional two slots separated from that. And there is a format called Sanremo Giovanni, open to new upcoming singers that will take part in that competition, and they will be added to the 24 act lineup, and you will have 24 songs competing in one category. There can be only one winner. I'm really excited about that, and we have to wait and see. If it's really Il Volo or Francesco Gabbani, I would pee my pants. Figuratively, not literally, because that's gross. But that would be super exciting to me. Even Rafael Gualazzi, I mean, his song was good, but it wasn't necessarily, it's too jazzy for me, but I thought that he brings a different style, and we like different music, right? In addition to that, another rumor that it's floating around is Ralph and Umberto Tozzi. They reunited lately, apparently to release a new album, and they represented Italy in 1987. Yes, over 30 years ago, and finished in third place. Trying to return to Eurovision? I mean, that would be kind of cool. So, what do you think? Who should represent Italy at Eurovision? Who do you want to return? Do you like the idea of Il Volo or Francesco Gabbani? Or who you would be your dream person to return? Make sure to at ESC United. So I know that you're talking about that. Surely Xante saying, Matt, out of all the names rising, who would you prefer to represent Italy? You have to forgive me. I don't know a lot of up and coming artists in Italy. I mostly know the established artists. I need to pay more attention afterwards. I need to take a look at the more newer artists. If you have a resource for me that I can take a look at and see who I should check out, feel free to do so. You can always tweet at me, Matt at ESCUnited. You can send me an email at matt@escunited.com. Multiple ways to reach out to me. Send me some links of people who I should check out. I always love people recommending people to check out, because yes, I love listening to Eurovision music, but I love to listen to European music. Living in the United States, it's often difficult to really connect with that music because I don't have that many people talk about it, right? So it's nice to have that. Eurovision on it is saying Dua Lipa Sanremo. I don't know what that means. Let's see. My dream is Nina Zilli coming back. Of course, I know Nina Zilli. She won with Per Sempre, right? Did she win or finish second? I think she won, right? But then she changed her song for Eurovision, which was, a lot of people were upset, but I actually liked her new song better. But that comes down to personal taste. Francesco is a king, isn't he? He deserved so much more, but it didn't come quite together. The fun vibe that it had in Sanremo, the song didn't quite come along across on the Eurovision stage. Marco Mengoni, Daniel Ellie, yes. I wasn't even a big fan of him initially, but when he performed, I was like, effortless. And now it's one of my favorites. What's your favorite Italian entry? Alexandra is asking. That is a tough question. If you watch my Italy reaction video, you can tell that there are a lot of songs that I love from Italy. It's one of my favorite countries in Eurovision. I don't think I'm alone. I feel as I have to separate them into decades because that's just unfair to compare like 1964 to 2015. It's a different era. But to give you the few, 1964, the winning song. I love both winning songs from Italy. Both of them are amazing. 1964 and 1990, one of my favorite. When I was a small kid when we won in 1990, I didn't watch Eurovision because I was pretty young. But it just brings back nostalgic vibes because that's the kind of music that my family listened to. It's just, so good. 1990, I just love Italy 1990. But I love so many of them in the new era. Of course, I was a big fan of Grande Amore. If you watched me over the years, you know that. And but I loved Francesco Gabbani. Those are like some of my favorites, but there are so many. Um, I'd love for Il Volo to go to Eurovision again. I really think they should have won in 2015. Yes, I'm gonna drink to that. Water still, but hey, better than nothing. So no, I agree with you. I should have won. My nose is itching. It always happens when I'm on camera, like the least convenient time. Forgive me. So those are my favorites. So that's where we're at with Italy. Hopefully, some of these rumors become true. I would be so. Oh, Eurotowel, you did it again. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I am working hard on my finances to make it to Amsterdam in concert to report there, as well as the London party. But flights from LAX, from Los Angeles to London aren't that cheap. Anything helps. Okay, on the former ESC entry, what's your opinion of Luxembourg 1981? It was Jean-Claude Pasquale, the former winner of 1961. I always need to look at the pictures because I always forget what they look like. I just need to see a screenshot of it. Give me 1 second. Eurovision Luxembourg 1981. I remember 1980. I'm just trying to remember 1981. Oh, yeah. I forgot about that song. See, you always ask the tricky one that nobody thinks about, and I love that about you. I love that song. I love that song, and not because it's one of the songs again that kind of I forget about, not because it's forgettable, but because there are so many songs that are going on. But I remember this one. I need to listen to them. I haven't listened to that one in years, but that's a good one. I need to do a Luxembourg reaction video only because I feel as they're forgotten. They've gotten forgotten with the newer folks as well. I mean, they haven't been around since I've been watching Eurovision. The first year I watched Eurovision was in 1998, and Luxembourg withdrew in 1993, I want to say. So I've never really seen them at Eurovision either, except, looking at his history. So I need to do that, and we need to bring him back. And my impossible dream is Giulia Cinquetti coming back, but it's so unrealistic. I think so too. How old is she now? I mean, she must be over 70. And I'm not saying that is a disqualifier because we had Dinkelberg Humberdump. I was forget. He was in his early hundreds, and he took part. So yes, we have to wait and see. Um, So let's move on. We talked about Poland. We talked about Italy. Oh, just a quick update on the hosts, in case you don't know. So I talked about it last week in our live stream that Iris Tal and Bar Raffaeli, they were not announced as hosts, but rumored as hosts, and most likely that is going to be true. And we talked about that. But apparently, a third host may have emerged, and that name is Lior Suchard. So it's a newspaper that Israel Hayam reported on that, right? That talked about that he has been selected internally, and he went through several audition rounds and ultimately was chosen. Apparently, he is known for being a supernatural entertainment. I don't know what that means, but he has a lot of experience traveling around the world, doing talk shows in Russia, even apparently in the United States. I have not heard of him before, but again, we have about a gazillion channels here in the United States. As you know, I like to exaggerate. By the way, some people are mentioning my hat here. Forgive me. I've been wearing the hat for the past few days only because my hair is super long. I'm going to get a haircut later today, and it's super messy. My hair gets super big and puffy as soon as it gets like just a tad long, so I always have to put on a hat just so I don't look like a total idiot. Anyway, so he was apparently chosen internally, and these hosts, the names, the three names, have been now submitted by the Italian broadcaster to the EBU, right? And then the EBU will look at them and then will approve of them or not. There always needs to go a final approval from the EBU, but unless they have done something horrible or could potentially damage or hurt the EBU's reputation, which I don't think is going to happen, they will then be approved. The EBU will not stand in the way unless there is like an issue of that sort that could prevent them from hosting it. But they will review it, and we should expect the official announcement, assuming they will be chosen early next year. So, not right away, but in a few weeks, probably early mid January is my hope, but we don't know for sure. You're totally, you're saying you speak to Jimmy Martin, who was part of the 1993 act in Luxembourg. He wants to return so bad. I do too. I do too. I don't know what it takes for Luxembourg to come back. It seems like we always come back to Luxembourg, but I completely agree. So, one of the last things I want to also add, and I see some people in the chat talking about that as well. He apparently is also not trickster, a magician, right? The host Leor. I don't know if there's going to be going down the corny route with the hosting process. Um, a magician? Oh, look, the trophy is gone. It's a very slippery slope, dangerous territory. But maybe they're really good with what they're doing. You never know. They could blow us away. But I'm very skeptical about it. I don't know him very well, so I need to look him up a little bit more. Um, just the idea of having a magician at Eurovision, I don't know if I'm a big fan of that idea. But we have to wait and see. Um, Lots of questions coming in. I forgive me if I scan past some of them because I'm trying to stay on track and on topic. So hold your other questions at the very end. I will talk about them as well. But that is where we're at with Italy. That is Italy, the hosts. I mean, I'm still stuck in the past here. Moving on. Another one that I'm very interested in is Cyprus. As we know, Eleni Ferreira blew us away with Fuego, and now Cyprus is becoming what Bulgaria was in 2018, and like an immediate fan favorite before we even know the name of the act or the song. Well, we have some clues here. But they becoming the big hyped country, and they're contributing to that since Bulgaria is no longer part of it. That doesn't always necessarily translate to success at Eurovision, but it is very popular among the Eurovision fan community, and it's great exposure, right? So I'm all in favor of that. But let's talk about it. So Cyprus, the broadcaster, has been slowly revealing a few clues online, and we believe the song's called Replay. That is where we're at. And this is what's being reported. We have to wait and see. Tamta, she is very famous, right, in Cyprus, Greece. She has actually listened to the song Replay. That is what's being reported. And she is going to make a decision whether or not she's going to represent Cyprus at Eurovision. To see if she likes the song, if she feels it's the right song for her. And then if she accepts, she's going to go to Eurovision. If not, then she won't, obviously. That's kind of how it works. This was reported by Eurovision Fund, so got to give a shout out to them. Check them out, they're fantastic. They reported that Tamta has listened to the song just yesterday, I think, or the day before, and she will record, most likely, her own version of Replay, kind of like Helena Paparizou did with Fuego. And then she will listen to it properly, and then we'll make a decision to see if she wants to represent Cyprus in Tel Aviv. She has a few days to consider, right? She's not going to be like, you have like 5 hours. No. She has a few days, but it has to be sooner than later, because if not, they have to look for somebody else. So a lot of people are super excited about her. She has been regularly tipped to represent Greece in the past, and she never had. So take it with a grain of salt. Maybe she won't after all, but if she has the right song and she feels good about it and the timing is right, maybe she will. She took part in the Greek national final in 2007, did not win, but ever since her name has been floating around, and I can only imagine what the Greek fans would do if she were to go to Eurovision for Cyprus. That would be insanity. So let me know what your thoughts are. Do you think it should be Tamta? Or you think that she's not going to do it? Is she's going to do it? Or if it's just stupid, make sure at ESCunited so I can see your questions. As far as I'm concerned, do it. I do think that putting forward a big name that creates a certain hype in a country it's not bad. Greek fans, we all know, are very passionate, so why not send something that they really truly care about? One thing I really was interesting about this year, the song. Greece, it was a mess with the way it was selected. She won. She was sent because all other songs in the national final were either disqualified or withdrew. Even though she did not qualify, it was a song that Greek people really connected with. I barely ever seen anything like it. And that is more important than anything. If you can be truly proud of your entry, right? Regardless of the outcome, and you connect with it, that is so important. Yes, of course, in the end you want to qualify and do well, but it really touched me. Even though people were Greek fans getting mad at me, us a little bit, because when we watched the rehearsals, we kind of called out Greece in that sense, like they're not going to qualify. It just doesn't come together on stage. And even though we were right, didn't feel great about it. It's not like I wanted Greece to qualify because it was a fantastic song. But I'm talking about Greece now. Cyprus is obviously the country we're talking about, but sometimes they're going to go so close together. So we have to wait and see what's going to happen. I would love to see Tamta at Eurovision. I think she needs to go at least once, even if it's for Cyprus. The hype will still be there. Gilad is saying, I thought that the red replay is meant Eleni back. I was so excited about it. No, that's not what it means, but that would be cool. Imagine you being right now. I think it's really just a song. I could see Eleni return in a few years, though, like in 2 or 3 years. I think her story at Eurovision is not over. She has become a Eurovision darling for a reason. Even if you're not crazy about that kind of music, and I get it, it's not for everyone, but I think she won me over live. She is one of the nicest people you can imagine. Like, you would think she's this hot girl, and she is so successful, and that she would have like a big ego. No, she was so sweet, so humble, so likable and approachable. And I see a lot of Eurovision people out there, right, over the years. So she was definitely one of very relatable, and the Cyprus team has always been one of the nicest anyway. So that was very, very interesting. I see a bunch of questions coming in about other topics, and I will answer them. I promise. I'm just going to do it at the very end. I'm just going to go through the other topics here real quick, and then I'll answer all your questions, okay? I only have, I think, one more thing. Lek M is asking, what artist would you like to see from Greece or Cyprus coming back? I forgot the name right now of the band. Gosh, why the name escaped me? But the band from 2013, Greece, Alcohol is Free. I know the name. Oh, it's escaped me. But I loved them. I thought they were so intuitive with their music. They were true artists, and I would love to see them return to Eurovision because I'm just a big fan of them. Absolutely. I would love to see Lisa Andreas, who represented Cyprus in 2005, to see she was 16 back then, barely, and see how she has matured and what artists she has matured into. That would be really interesting on my part as well. And Alexandra is asking, do you think that Cyprus will send another summer bob or surprise us? Would you be here for a Fuego 2.0? Because I think that would be fire. Yes. So here's the thing. I don't necessarily want Fuego 2.0, but that I still can see another great bop. I still want to have a fun, upbeat song as long as it's not a copycat, right? And that is what I'm hoping for. So maybe they can even send a song in Greek. But even Fuego had like fun ethnic influences with it. But just don't make a copycat. That's all I'm saying. It can be upbeat. Just don't try to be, it's like, oh, it worked last year. Let's do the same thing again. No. I prefer creativity. And that should be rewarded, in my opinion. So let's move on to the next topic. Let's talk about España, Spain. So in case you don't know what's happening on there right now, so they had, Operación Triunfo, and one of the acts, either one singer or multiple, will go to Eurovision at some point. They asked for songwriters to submit their songs, and they did all of that. So they received the songs. The Spanish broadcaster RTV has now announced the 17 entries that have been selected to compete in the Eurovision Gala, which is the special show put aside to pick the Eurovision entry, right? So they have in its next month, in January already. 17 entries are in the running. So RTV has pulled together entries from newcomers as well as established artists. And with the Operación Triunfo 2017 entrant Cepeda and the 2014 Eurovision Spanish representative Ruth Lorenzo, saying that their actually entries have been rejected. Ouchie. So anyway, let's talk about the other stuff. So the gala contenders will then record, now 1 minute only, a 1 minute clip of the entries, the allocated entries, over the next few days. So they will be very, very busy. And then those recordings will be put online for our listening pleasure, right? And that happens in about 4 to 5 days. They said on December 19th or 20th. So just be patient. In a few more days, we'll have some clips of the Spanish entries. That is fun. And then users will be able to vote for their favorite 3 songs on a daily basis. And then the online voting will close on January the 2nd, 2019. And then the 3 songs with the most amount of online votes will get a spot at the Eurovision Gala. So 3 songs is what the online voters will be able to choose. And then they continue. There will be a jury with 2 members of RTV, 2 professors from an academy, and they will decide the remaining 7 entries that will participate in the gala. That means we have a total of 10 songs that will be in the gala. So, and then we'll move on from that. So you'll have a say probably, right? From what I'm reading, it doesn't say it has to be Spanish online voters, but if it is, get a VPN. So that is really exciting, because we have a few more news. As far as my thinking, people always ask me, what do you think about Operación Triunfo? I don't like The Voice. I don't like X Factor. I don't like those reality singing competition shows, right? And it's just what's very popular right now, and I have to accept that. But I don't know if this is the right way to go. It's a very risky choice, throwing a random singer with a random song. Do you know what I mean? And if they don't click. It sometimes works, but oftentimes it does not. I don't think it's the most productive option. But it's probably just very popular, and in the end, it's all about money, meaning ratings. So I'm not a fan of the idea, but hey, at least they're trying something. They have a separate show, and we still have what we could call a national final. So we have to wait and see, but that is where we're at with Spain. Lyndon ESC is asking, Eras 2 one of the best entries ever? Yeah, that goes without saying. Of course it's one of the best ones. People in the United States know the song. There may be just a handful of songs in the history of the contest that people here in the US know. And Eras 2 is one of them. So yes, that goes without saying. Mirella should go for Spain. She was really robbed. Absolutely. Oh gosh, don't remind me of that national final. I remember I was just sitting there, I was laughing. I was like, this is a comedy right now. 2016 national final was, no, not 16, 17, forgive me. It was a joke. It was a joke, it was an embarrassment, and it was that bad that I rather prefer the system that they currently use. There was a huge drama because 3 of the 16 contestants didn't get a song for Eurovision, and they said in Operación Triunfo that everyone was going to have a song. That is insane. I don't see, it is stupid. I know this season seems to be a lot more controversial than the last one. It seems as, I'm not saying they're less talented people, but less interesting people. Like they were not as into it, what I'm hearing, with the, doing their thing at the academy, like all the others were, like they were on strike at some point. It seems very dramatic, but hey, once again, ratings. So yeah. We have to wait and see, but at least we're going to get a proper national final, and that is all I am hoping for. All right, last thing I'm going to talk about, and then we open the general Q&A session, so make sure to ask your questions. And that is just quick, Lithuania and Eurovisios Atranka is the name of the national final system selection process in Lithuania. They have revealed this very long R's list of 49 participants. So 49 acts are in the running to represent Lithuania. Clearly, there can only be only one. There are a few names out there that may stand out, and some of them I'm actually quite excited about, actually one in particular. They start filming everything, by the way, on the 20th of December. It starts airing early January. I think it's the 5th, if I'm not mistaken. And then there will be 4 heats initially, and then followed by 2 semifinals, and then the grand final February the 23rd. So we have a few shows. It's not as bad as in previous years where they had like a gazillion shows. But some of the names that are out there is the one I am really excited about is Yorgis Ditsilius. He basically was the lead singer of Incolto, who represented Lithuania in 2010. Love that song, and I listened to the music. He's a very interesting artist, so I'm curious to see what he'll come up with. I'm really excited about him. I wish him the best of luck. Don't let me down. Edgars Lubis is back, apparently also known as Amber Live. He took times a few part before, popular singer and songwriter. He actually first took part in 2004, I think, in the national finals. Maybe this year will be his year. Also returning is Jurgis Brutska, and he was so close last year. He finished in second place last year in the national final with the song For Love, won the jury vote on top of it. Maybe he's the favorite now. Monica Maria, she won The Voice of Lithuania. They have a different name for that show, but she won that. She finished last year in fourth place in the national final with The Truth. Then there is Tomas Sinikis, a famous singer, part of the band Gravel. Interesting enough, he was a jury member in 2016 in the national final. Now he's apparently a singer. Hey, that's how it goes. And Saulis Kleosas, it was a band that also took last year, but they were eliminated in the semifinals. So as more news come along, this is so cool. We get more names, we get more information. I am as happy as a clam. I don't know about you, but these are really good news. So much happening. We're making progress, and you know that after Christmas, the news will just be flooding in. You will not be able to keep up with that, and that is why, my friends, that is why we'll have multiple live streams throughout the week. We're gonna move on. We're gonna up it by once. We're gonna have 2 live streams per week. Yay! After Christmas, that is. And then I'm also going to start bringing on co-hosts. If you're interested in joining us, make sure to message me at Matt ESCunited. I can't even talk. At Matt. The handle is Matt ESCunited. So on Twitter, or you just can send me an email at matt@escunited.com. So this is the news. This is the news of the week. Now it's time to open the Q&A session. Jen will ask me anything Eurovision related, anything. We're going to do that for like a few minutes. How does that sound? Okay, so the first question comes from, and make sure, by the way, at ESCunited, so I know that you are, asking me. At ESCunited by Yuxin, what do you think about Janita Maliki's song, I Hope She Represent Albania this year? Well, I posted my reaction video earlier today, so go to our channel, ESCunited, you're already here, and watch the most recent video I uploaded, and you have your answer. I don't want to spoil it for anybody else. That's my answer. Jarno Game, the chat is scrolling a little fast. Give me 1 second, I gotta go back up here. Jarno Gaming is saying, what do you think of the Croatian Dora that's coming back, and do you think of Bosnia ever comes back? I am beyond thrilled that Dora is coming back. It was one of my favorite national selections in the late 2000s, I think. And when they scrapped it, I was pissed. So I don't know what else to tell you. I am thrilled. This is super exciting news. And yes, there's my answer. I want Croatia to win anyway, Eurovision, because I want to go there badly. So I love that national final, and I expect good things. As far as Bosnia and Herzegovina is concerned, yes, they will be back at some point. But I don't know if it's going to be the next year, 2 or 3. It really comes down to money. They need to pay up their debt. And that is not always an easy task. So I think they'll be out for at least a few more years. But they will return eventually. Just be patient. Gilad is anything about Belarus or FYR Macedonia news? Not yet. We don't have anything about Belarus or Macedonia just yet, but if there is, we'll let you know. I will bring that up in my next live streams, but they're a little bit... Macedonia has been fairly quiet anyway, usually their selections. It'll probably be an internal selection anyway, so just hold on tight. ESC Laura is asking, what's your favorite German entry? Okay. That was way before I was born, but my entire family here, we all love the same song. And we say, like, what do you want to listen to? Let's listen to Germany 1975. Joy Fleming, Ein Lied kann eine Brücke sein. And that song flopped at Eurovision but became a classic, and I love it to death. She recently passed away, which is really sad, of course, but her voice is just out of this world. Love her, love the song. So there's my answer. There are plenty of other great songs, but this one, I always go back to that one. Eurovision Online is asking, do you make much money from your channel? No, not much money at all. No, it doesn't even begin to cover the costs that I have with paying for equipment, paying for travel, for housing, and hosting fees and all that stuff. No. I don't make money off of this. I pay money. This is a hobby. That's why I'm, trying to, and that's why I can't do this more. Because, if I want to do this full time, I would have to make more money, and that's just not happening. So I don't. But it's fine. I love it anyway. But anything that people help support, whether it's, with the super chats or on Patreon, that is always appreciated. But if you don't have money, that is fine. I understand that. You can always help by sharing our videos, liking it, and just spreading it across the World Wide Web. That is the best thing you can do to help us. So if you cannot help with money, help me by spreading the word. I can always ask for that. And if you can do that, then I will be eternally grateful. Blondie Boy BC is asking, who do you think has the strongest national final selection so far? I'm liking Albania the best. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Albania, hands down, has the best. I mean, keep in mind, I've only listened to 3 of them so far. Estonia's Istilau, Latvia's Supernova, and Albania's Festivali I Kenges. I know Hungary, Adele songs are out as well. That is next on my list, but I don't want to listen to them yet because I do reaction videos and I want to have them genuine. I don't want to listen to them, then pretend that I'm listening to them again. So I'll watch them soon, hopefully in the next few days. But out of those 3, definitely Albania. This is probably my favorite Albanian national final, a Festivali I Kenges, and hopefully they'll make the right choice. Again, watch my video and you get more information, but I think you watched already. But yes, definitely the best one. Supernova is disappointing this year, very disappointing, but I was also trying to be very, very fair in my video, saying a lot of these songs have potential, but I think they're all demos, and it's very difficult to really, really judge them because you're trying to think in your head, okay, if they add orchestration here, more instruments, and they change the arrangement, maybe this could work. So they could surprise us with a fantastic revamp, but right now I'm disappointed with Supernova. Estonia is not their strongest year. That being said, they have at least 3 or 4 fantastic songs. So if one of them wins, I'd be fine. That's where I'm at. Who else is asking questions? And keep asking them if I missed them, because, they come in. Kasper Kaider is asking, have you heard that on 90% we won't have Krajowe Eliminacji Poland? What do you think about that? Well, you need to rewatch this video. I talked about that at the very beginning, actually. And so I don't want to repeat myself because, I've talked about it, but I was saying it's up to Poland. I understand their thinking because it worked with the Junior Eurovision, but I love national finals. But I talked about that in a little bit more detail at the beginning of this video, so just come back in a little while and watch the replay of the video. Replay, just like the Cyprus song from Cyprus. See what I'm doing here? I'm sorry, I'm being stupid. It's very early here. Well, not anymore. It's 10:48, so I'm not a morning person, so I gotta keep myself entertained. ESC Fan Forever is asking, best UK and Maltese entry at ESC from 2015 to now. UK, I wasn't a fan. I'm going for them right now. From 2015, I actually liked the song that everyone hated. From 2015. I hated the staging, I hated the live performance, but I liked the style of it. So I would say UK 2015. For Malta, I'm going for them right now, Walking on Water. Malta has not been really my cup of tea lately, but I have to say Claudia Faniello last year. When they flopped, that's when I liked them the best. I just don't like their music these last few years. I have to be honest. So, but I'm rooting for Malta because I want them to win. Because I want to go to Malta. All right, next question. Natalie Shah is asking, what do you think of Shepherd? All I know of Shepherd is that they're from Australia. I need to listen to them, and I will do that after this video. I don't know much about them. I only know them by name. I'm a horrible person. I'm a total American because I listen to music here in America, and that's it. We have very little exposure to music that is beyond our borders, and that's why I love Eurovision so much. So that is what it's going on. Somebody's asking me, where am I staying in Tel Aviv? I'm staying really close to the arena. I forgot the name of the area, but it's about 10 minutes by bus. It's like just south of the arena. It's like North Tel Aviv, I think, or something like that. I just like being close to the arena because I spend so much time there in the press center. And then that's what I'm doing. I found a really cool place with my buddy Zach, who is joining ESCunited in Tel Aviv. We are, got an apartment together on Airbnb, and it's going to be awesome sauce. Are you still able to speak German? ESC Laura is asking, ja, natürlich. Ich spreche noch Deutsch. Of course, if you don't use it, you lose it. And that is what's happening to me. I can still speak it, and I always will because it's my first language, right? My native tongue. However, when I go back and visit family, I'm always struggling. I'm like, okay, my grammar sucks. Big time. Because you think in English, you sleep in English, you talk in English, and then I'm the worst translator. If there's one job I cannot do is become a professional translator, just because my brain isn't wired in that way where I can just switch back between languages. I'm just not good at that. So when I'm at home, I'm always like, it's really bad. But I speak it. I do speak it. Okay, next question. Gatouf Nixon is saying, there are rumors in the Netherlands that Rafaela Paton, Dutch national final 2012, who sang Chocolate, that her manager had a conversation with the Avrotos, the broadcaster. Oh, I remember that song. Chocolate, send me chocolate. That was a fun song. And I hated the way the national final was set up because, wasn't she battling Franca, you and me? She didn't have a chance to move on to the finals because of Franca. I loved that song. That was fun, Chocolate, but it was a little repetitive, but I loved it anyway. That is interesting. That is interesting to hear that she's in conversation. They've been going for bigger names, or at least established artists. I don't know how popular she is in the Netherlands, so I'm curious to find out more about that. But hey, if she has the right song, so be it. I do know that the broadcaster wants to have a little bit more control over the song and the direction, the staging after the last few years. So we have to wait and see. What do you think of Morocco 1980? John is asking. I love it. Love it. I love that kind of music. I don't know what else to say. I love it, and it's a shame that Morocco is not taking part. It would be fun to have that kind of music at Eurovision. It would just add to the diversity. But we all know it's not going to happen anytime soon. Forgive me. Jeffrey is asking, should the jury system change since they often differ with the televote? No. That's the whole purpose. If they would always agree with the televote, then there would be no need for it, right? The reason why we have a jury, whether or not you like it, it's supposed to balance out some of the flaws that the televote has, whether it's the diaspora voting, the friendly voting, or just the reality that the running order matters. So a certain aspect that lacks in the televote, the jury vote's supposed to make up for it. So no, that's the whole thing. And some people look at the televote being superior, but that is also subjective, right? Because of the flaws that it has. Now, the jury system has its own flaws, so I don't want to have a 100% jury vote either. But just because they don't agree often doesn't mean you get rid of them, because that's the whole purpose of it. Otherwise, why bother having them if they completely agree? So that makes it also a way more interesting. It saved a lot of good songs. Sometimes they bury good songs as well, right? But Austria 2018 deserved so much more with the televoters, and yet thanks to the juries, they saved it. And then other songs, of course, were the opposite. But you get my point. When will you do the Maltese reaction video, Stefan? It's next. I had to burn through the national finals right now. It's on my list of my to-do list right now. I'm squeezing it as soon as I can. I promise. It's gonna come out. It's gonna come out. It probably will be the last country reaction video I can do of this season, because After this is, I'm going to be too busy, but Malta is definitely going to come out, I promise. Eurovision Online is asking, do you think the televote should be announced by the spokesperson and jury points announced by the points? You know what? That is a very interesting question, and I had that conversation not too long ago. But I do think if we were to do that, people would be more annoyed. And here's why. Because then, ultimately, even though it's 50-50, the appearance is then the juries will have the deciding vote, right? So let's say let's use an example of 2015. Well, 2015 we didn't have really the setup, but let's use it anyway because if we announce the televotes first with the way we do it right now, Il Volo would have won, right, the first part, and then the juries. Then we would have added them at the end, and then the jury vote would have decided the winner, and people would have been even more upset. So I think the idea is they want to give the impression that the televoters are the ones ultimately rescuing or changing the outcome over the juries. And I think it makes sense that way. Now, what I do want is them to slow down with the results because they're going through them so fast. The 26th through 11th place. Now, I don't have them to do the whole thing where they're in 26th place with 4 points, it's United Kingdom, and then show the sad face of the singer. I'm not saying that. I'm talking about just let us absorb the information. Like even the people, you don't have to spend that much on it, but if you're from the UK and you just finished in 23rd place in the televote, you want to at least talk about it for like 2 seconds. Oh my God, can you believe it? By the time you had that, 10 seconds conversation, 3 other countries have already been announced. So I don't like it that it's going so fast. I don't think they're going to change it, but I'll keep complaining about it until they do. That is at least my opinion. Anyway, if there are any other questions, I think I'm just gonna. We are at the 1 hour mark, and once again, we will have more live streams as the season continues. You should listen to Maya Buskila. I believe she will represent Israel. I will do that as soon as I can. This list is getting really, really long of things I have to listen to. I need to be able to split myself into 2, but I shall do that. Let me see if there are any other questions. Like Emma saying, what do you think of Wo sind die Katzen? Oh, that's a song in Estilau in Estonia. I did my reaction video. Check it out. It's on our page. I did about 4 days ago for the second semifinal. But if you want to have a spoiler, here it is. I don't like it. I didn't like it. But hey, it comes down to personal taste. Jeffrey said, I think when it comes down to the last 2 countries like this year, they should show the points of them at the same time because there are often people who are confused who won. Yes, well, here's the thing. It's a very interesting thing because the Eurovision fans usually know who won, right? Because we kind of understand the system, but the average person, that's not. So when they announced Cyprus finishing second with the televote, the audience was going crazy, Neta was going crazy, but the actual fans were kind of like, huh? What happened? And even this time around, I got confused because the lady, one of the hosts, had misspoke at some point, and I thought, what? Israel won? No, they didn't. Even I was confused for 2 seconds. So they need to kind of explain it more. They should probably just slow down there a little bit. I agree with that. But I don't know if they showed it at the same time. That is a good question. I never thought of it that way. I'm going to think about that. I think that may work. And you can see them both slowly moving up the scoreboard until they end up in the place they should be at. Or they should, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. That's a very good question. So yeah, I think I like that idea as you can see them slowly moving up the scoreboard until they hit the spot where they're going to be at. One last question, and then I'm going to move on. Jarno Gaming is saying, what do you think of the Romanian national final system? It's an improvement. I like the fact that they're going to have an international jury this time around. And the last year, it was too messy. First of all, they had like 5 semifinals, and there were no good songs. There were like one decent song in each semifinal. It was a pain to listen to. I'm sure they're still going to have a lot of bad songs, but they brought down the numbers of songs, I think, as well. And the voting system was a mess. So I'm glad that they're going to have an international jury also helping out. And I think that will help overall and kind of help balance out that very messy televote that Romania has in place. This was crazy when you watch it last year. I'm like, they show the votes for like 2 hot seconds on the screen, then I get rid of it, and you can see who's in the lead. And if you don't like who's in the lead, you can vote for the song that's in second place. But then it puts everyone else at a disadvantage that's further down. It is such a big mess. So hopefully they're not going to do that again, but I'm sure they will. But at least they have the juries to kind of balance that out. So that is where we're at. So keep in mind, I will be back next Saturday. That's the 22nd, but I will upload a lot of videos in the meantime, so don't think there's nothing else. There's so much to do, more news to come. I hope you all will enjoy the holiday season that's upon us and spend time with your loved ones. I will do the same, and but Eurovision never stops, right? That is my life. That is your life. So thank you for listening. Thank you for being here. Let's talk Eurovision a little more. Have a good night, everyone, or good morning, good evening, wherever you are. Bye-bye.